a year ago by defeating Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. Gino Torretta and Lamar Thomas are two returning players. One of the reasons that the writers have picked Miami to be in that top spot. Coach Dennis Erickson must be very pleased to have his team right at the top of the list.
Seems like it's been a kiss of death lately, Bill, as far as being picked number one. But it's an honor for us to be picked number one. We have a lot of people returning, and that makes a big difference. And it's a tremendous challenge for us. Nobody has been voted number one and stayed number one the whole season, so that's got to be our goal right now. Gino Torretta has improved so much, and we made the decision for him to be the starter last year, and he went 12-0. And what Gino has is he's a tremendous leader, has a strong arm, and he wins games.
How much communication do you have with Coach Erickson during a game?
A lot. I mean, he signals in all the plays to me, and you know, if I have a timeout to call, I'm over there talking to him, or you know, before we go out on the field for our offensive next series, you know, he's telling me what we want to do for that series, and we communicate more than anybody because all our meetings are with him in practice and everything. So I pretty much know exactly what he wants to do in every game situation.
Lamar Thomas has been a big play receiver for us. He can run and jump and is a tremendous athlete and makes the plays when he has to.
When I go out there on the football field, it's supposed to be fun. And that's what I try to portray to the fans and my teammates, just try to pump them up and get them excited because, you know, football is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be a life-threatening thing. It's just supposed to be fun, and that's what I go out there every game and just try to have fun, even practices.
It was a disappointment, of course, to lose Steve McGuire last year. Can you give us a rundown on his status?
Well, we believe Steve will be ready to play. We're not sure exactly what part of the season, hopefully when it starts, but he's got some rehabilitation to continue to do. If he's not there, of course, we got Larry Jones coming back, who started in the Orange Bowl last year. Darren Smith is one of the better linebackers, if not the best linebacker in college football. The thing that he does so well is runs. He's probably the fastest linebacker I've been around, and he just has a knack for making plays.
The attitude of this whole team starts with our defense. You know, we've been known to have a bad attitude, and I think it starts with our defense, and that's the reason we've been so successful, because mentally we go into a game very tough, and that's the way we play.
You know, from a personal standpoint, I don't think there's anything that would thrill a coach more than to be named Coach of the Year, which you were in several polls last year.
Well, that's an honor, and it's an honor that you share, of course, with your assistant coaches who do most of the work and the players. But anytime you're named Coach of the Year, you know you've been very successful as a football team.
And that ride off the field of battle on the shoulders of his players has to give a coach a memory he will never forget. Certainly Dennis Erickson won't. The hurricane warning flag is up for 92. When the Canes take the field for the new season, they know there are rough waters ahead, with such tough opponents as Iowa, Penn State, Florida State, and Syracuse, anxious to make things stormy for the Miami team that will be seeking to repeat its #1 finish of 1983, 87, 89, and 91. It's a good bet the Hurricanes won't be lacking in vocal support throughout the season. And so Miami and Washington shared the national championship in 1991, and they are favored once again this year. But as you can see, there are a lot of powerful college teams poised and ready to lay claim to that title in 1992. This is Bill Fleming. Thanks very much for being with us. We hope the season ahead's the most exciting one for you.
Steve Wrigley, CNN, Headline Sports. North Carolina State upset 15th-ranked Iowa 24-14 in the Kickoff Classic. Terry Jordan passed for 160 yards and a touchdown. He set up another with a 33-yard scramble. In the big
Williams tries to get him one-on-one, does. And things happen when you get Williams one-on-one. Down to the 15 to 14-yard line. First down for the Canes before Scott Blake finally brought him down.
This is why Williams is so dangerous and explosive. Out, and then we'll cut through you.
Second down, long punt. Checked off. Running back Bennett trying to cut back to the left side. Found a little crack over there, and he couldn't get to it.
Precious. Now the teammates call Torretta Precious.
Only when he's in a good mood. 3rd and 6. Williams. Touchdown. Kevin Williams is 5'9", 185 pounds, and I think that
Doesn't have to be explosive here. The same play this side, same time. Just gets down 3 or 4 yards. Now you can't tackle him. Played again. Rides him.
Knocks the Miami defender down and turns it upfield and will come up just short of the first down. So that's how strong Hartleib is. But he's going to miss his first down by the score. Loretta's pass on the money to Kevin Williams, and Williams is out of bounds at about the 10 beyond the first down marker, and it'll be first down as Bo Porter brought him down. They played the zone. They were very good. To the end zone, intercepted. Bo Porter picked it off. Loretta tried to force it. Porter, a running back in a wide-out position. The ball is handed to Montgomery. And perhaps they need to get a little...
This time, Marvin Graves dumps it off to Shelby Hill. He goes in for the touchdown. The teams combined for around 1,200 yards total offense. Of course, you can see Texas against Syracuse next week. You're on ABC. Back to Keith.
Having graduated in finance. So he's from Woodstock, Illinois, and very broken. Recognizes that and has rewarded him.
Up in full force, 18 matchups featuring top 25 teams. Howard Schnellenberger's Louisville Cardinals almost gave the Buckeyes a black eye, but number 18 Ohio State prevailed 20-19. Ralph Dawkins' 2-yard run with 33 seconds to play made it a 1-point game. The Cardinals went for 2. Jeff Brum's pass missed its mark. Number 8 Texas A&M was in a tussle with LSU. This one was 14 all at 1 point. The Bengal Tigers' downfall was Aggies quarterback Jeff Granger. Granger ran and threw for a score, and the 31-22 Texas A&M win. Gene Stalling sat down David Palmer due to a drunken driving arrest. Number 9 Alabama managed to beat Vanderbilt 25-8. Palmer's replacement Derek Lassick ran for 51 yards and the score on 9 carries. Top-ranked Miami takes on Iowa. Canes wideout Lamar Thomas, who is indicted on a financial aid scandal, is eligible to play. Washington opens defense of their co-national championship. Notre Dame with no problems. Florida State big in their ACC debut. Penn State with the challenge from UC. Syracuse doubled up East Carolina. Nebraska by 27. Colorado's Cordell Stewart threw for 400 yards and 4 scores. Clemson's Howard Hall and Rod Williams scored late TDs in the 4th. Georgia welcomes South Carolina to the SEC. NC State plays host to App State. The Vols open at home. BYU tries to air it out at UTEP. Mississippi State ventures to Texas. Number 25 Cal Big, Russell White went over the 200-yard mark. It was all Pat Porter's.
Factor in the Nittany Lions going without starting quarterback Kerry Collins, and that the game was in Cincinnati, and you'd figure the Bearcats would come out wild and riled, and here they go. This is the opening kickoff. Cincinnati's Brian Jenkins picks him up and puts him down. He's on his way. The kicker makes the game. Touchdown-saving tackle, that is. But just 3 minutes into the game, the play is drawn, and last year's 1,000-yard rusher, David Small, number 3, gets 6. He is in. Just 3 minutes in. Cincinnati's up 7-0. Joe Paterno worried, but not really. Here we go. They bring it back the other way. Richie Anderson makes the move. I can't figure out the out-of-bounds line or the goal line, but he could, and he's in. This is late in the game. Brian O'Neill, his second touchdown again. You tell me where the end zone is. I guess the players know that's all that matters. And Penn State, a big-time scare. O'Neill's second touchdown with just 7.5 minutes left clinches it. Penn State was favored by 26, and they run out of Cincinnati quickly with a 4-point win. The Orange game took almost 3 full quarters to bust free from the Wildcats of Northwestern. This romp helped Notre Dame roll. It's Reggie Brooks picking him up and putting him down. The light is green. 72 yards for the touchdown. When the dust settled, Northwestern turned purple 42-7. Number 18 Ohio State was supposed to blow out Louisville, but needed a colossal defensive stop on this 2-point conversion with just 33 ticks left. Tim Wilkinson blew home on the rush and forced the overthrow. 2 points and the Cardinals win it, but the Buckeyes survive 20-19. LSU's now lost 14 of the last 15 times they've been on national network TV. A bad quarterback decision late hurt. Down just 3 to Texas A&M. Chad Luke gives up the gift, and the Aggies punched it in on the next play. They're now 2-0. Number 9 Alabama opened up with a win over Vandy at home. 4 field goals by freshman Michael Proctor helped out, but we choose to show you Michael Rogers romping into the fun zone, 36 yards with the late pick. At Lincoln, the 11th-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers romped. Mike Grant completed the long haul back from a season and a half of injuries, reclaiming the starting quarterback job. He tossed 2 touchdowns in Nebraska's 27-point win. Also from the Big 8, number 13 Colorado left the land and went airborne to blow out Colorado State by 20. Sophomore Cordell Stewart, starting his first game, went wild with school record 409 yards and 4 touchdowns. Clemson, the Tigers clawed past a tough Ball State team. Tim Jones' fourth-quarter interception set up the clinching Clemson touchdown. Russell White surfing on the turf in Berkeley. He picked him up and put him down for 216 yards, helping Keith Gilbertson win his coaching debut over San Jose State. Finally, seesaw in San Diego. USC's quarterback Ron Johnson threw 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to Johnny Morton. This one gave the Trojans a 28-24 lead, but it was far from over. Heisman Trophy candidate Marshall Faulk also chewed up some California real estate, romping for 220 yards, 59 of them on this TD scamper, putting San Diego State up 31-28. But the Aztec needed this late field goal to beat USC. No, San Diego State settles for the 31-all.
From Delran, New Jersey, went down hurt early, and then left Joe Powell looking like a hostage from a sauna. And here's why. Cincinnati all over the Penn State punter late, led to a Cincinnati score. That made it 17-14. Lions hang in there to win this, though. They come on to win this with their third-string quarterback in there, and Brian O'Neill's fourth-quarter 2-yard run over right tackle to put them up 24-14. But it was never in the bag. Penn State wins it, holding on 24-20. Well, what a reversal from last year when Penn State beat them 81-0. Temple bageled it. Bageled Boston University, as Bud Collins would say. A sweet start for the Owls in their opener in Hershey tonight. Sam Jenkins coming right at you, 7 yards, as Temple scored on 4 of their first 5 possessions tonight. Jenkins had 2 of them. The Owls with a big win in their opener up at Hershey, 35-0 over Boston University. And this was the first full weekend of football for the colleges, with the defending champions in action and the would-be successors joining the chase, like Notre Dame. But Northwestern hung tough until Rick Meyer got time and hit a streaking Mike Miller. He quit the squad homesick a year ago. Finds a home in the end zone today from 70 yards. Notre Dame ahead just 14-7 midway through the third, pulls away. Now to Columbus. Ohio State's big play here in the second. Watch Joe Galloway on the reverse. Bobbing and weaving, slipping and sliding. This is the prettiest play of the day, folks. He'll score from 50. But the Buckeyes only win when Louisville misses a conversion kick and a 2-pointer at the buzzer. Now, the nation's fastest team, Colorado, attacking. Cordell Stewart lobs it. Charles Johnson leaps. Now that's halfway home. Now Stewart turns on the juice. They say 26 Buffaloes run under 4.6 for the 40. Good numbers in their win today as well, especially for quarterback Cordell Stewart. And top-ranked Miami tonight opens in Iowa, and you knew this would be tough. Wasn't until late that Miami started hitting their typical big plays. This one set up the score that pulled the Canes away to stay. 17-0, Miami on top of Iowa late. Now checking the rest of the college football scene, here's the scoreboard. Florida State number 4 over Duke easily, the power of the ACC. Texas A&M number 7 gets by LSU with a 31-22 win. More scores. Alabama over Vanderbilt 25-8, and Syracuse stunning East Carolina easily down in Greenville tonight in North Carolina. Elsewhere, some of these, look at this, Arkansas stunned by the Citadel 10-3. The Citadel scores on a fumble return. Boston College over Rutgers. Foley had a big day, 275 yards passing out of Cherry Hill. 37-20 was that final for Boston.
They've piled up a lot of yards to only have 7 points to show for it.
It's an important drive for them to knock it in against the San Diego State defense. San Diego State in the last play pinched their defensive line inside to stop the inside play.
Hall is the deep man in the backfield. Rex, the tight end, splits out as the only wide receiver. Hall hit at the line of scrimmage, may have lost a yard.
6 and pass in this situation.
Second and goal from the 5. Drage and Sterling on the wideout. Play action. Walsh under pressure, just threw it out of bounds. This one Mark Wilson and Jim McMahon fought it out to see who was going to start for LaBelle Edwards.
We've had a cookie cutter making quarterbacks out.
Quarterback John Walsh has to hustle on the field.
Mike, you'd think he'd look for Eric Drage or his tight end, Byron Rex.
Rex is in the slot to the right. Drage, the wide out far left. Looking for Rex. Now turns and looks for Drage. Touchdown. You had mentioned before that it appeared to you that Walsh was picking out one receiver and staying with him. That time, at least, he looked for Rex and then went back to the left side and found Drage.
Rex was covered, but he was able to come off and find Eric Drage. A nice job by John Walsh of finding the second receiver.
Drage with his third touchdown catch of the year, and Lauder will attempt the point after to cut it to 3. And does. Another fine drive by BYU, 80 yards, and a clutch third down touchdown pass.
Eric Drage, they do a nice job of breaking out of the move, and here he's just wide open. He was able to get into the defensive back and then break and just create a seam. See John Walsh looking for the tight end. Now he looks off, finds Eric Drage, his money receiver, for the touchdown.
And he had 2 steps on Gary Taylor, and Walsh knew it. Drilled it in for his second touchdown pass of the ball game. And BYU is back to within 3 points. He was playing center field.
Yeah, he probably had memories of last year when he was throwing all those long bombs, and he just made a bad decision. He had Darnay Scott on the curl route wide open, but he just chose the wrong receiver. You're going to see Darnay Scott on the outside. Look how wide open he is, but he fell down. Tried to go deep to number 81, Keith Williams, but Derwin Graves playing center field for the interception.
Now BYU against this team a year ago. 2nd and 12 now, BYU. Pressure. And incomplete. Nice defensive play by the linebacker, Robert Griffin. He was out there covering the tight end, Byron Rex, and got a hand on it. 3rd and 12. The numbers on Walsh. The 2 touchdowns, the most impressive out of those numbers. 4-man rush. Walsh being chased down. Not a lot of mobility, but he got away. Walsh still alive. Floats it downfield. Almost intercepted. Intended for Rex. And nearly 2nd and 2. Falk again. Cuts it outside. 15. Stiff arm to the 10. Leaning forward, gang tackle at the 2, a gain of another 7. Yeah. Touchdown. Cards.
They will blitz here and try to force a turnover.
Let's see what Walsh does on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Pressured out of the pocket. Dumps it off for Hall. Couldn't make the catch, and he is level. He's at a 17 right now. Pressured out of the pocket again. Tries to dump this one low and does complete to Hall. And Hall dragged down by Mark Roberts, the linebacker. Somehow, Walsh got away, and there is a flag down. Great for BYU, puts him out to the 50. Here's the blitz. Walsh unloads to Rex, and Rex is wrapped up by Darrell Lewis, the sure tackle. More pressure. Walsh nailed from behind, and the ball goes sailing out of bounds, intended for Rex. And Walsh will be a little slow getting up this time. So very fortunate he could get up after that. 3rd and 9. Snap. Walsh comes down with it. Has time, hangs in the pocket, throws complete. It'll be enough for a first down. The catch made by Bryce Dolman, gain of 12.
A post pattern here to Eric Drage with the shotgun.
3rd and 8. Another high snap. Walsh under pressure, throws as he falls. Drage at the 20. Drake down to the 15-yard line, and they will use their last timeout to stop the clock. With 8 seconds to go, Drake now 4 catches, 62 yards.
Keep talking about.
Lauder hit his only try of the year last week against Texas El Paso. This will be a 33-yard shot. And pumps that one through. No problem from 33 yards. So San Diego State will receive the kickoff. Keith Williams, the deep man, waiting for number 20, David Lauder, to kick it away. Williams in the center of your screen, number 81. This one is driven totally out of the end zone. Let's check in with Jerry Punt. 161. Hall got most of that, Coach. Going down, he just floated it downfield.
A 4-man rush by San Diego State. They're not getting much pressure on John Walsh. Just no one open. Now he moves out of the pocket, just floats one to Kalen Hall. Good little stutter step there. If he could have kept his balance, he would have scored.
First down, Cougars at the Aztec 22-yard line. And Hall has shown everything tonight as a back. Gets the draw. Hall powering his way down the 11-yard line. He has another first down. Play action. Walsh unloads at the last moment, and it can't be held by Eric Drake. He's tripped up in the backfield. All up in the backfield. Drake, touchdown.
Mike, when I sat with Eric Drake the other day, I asked him, I said, what's your favorite route? He said the corner route. And that's exactly what John Walsh threw this time for the touchdown.
And he beat their best defensive back, Damon Pierre.
But when you have man-to-man coverage, they move Eric Drake in motion to set up a little possible pick play. He gets inside position and breaks to the outside on Damon Pierre for the touchdown.
Walsh with his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. And once again, he has his club back to within 8 points. Lauder will try to make it 7 and does. And now Drake, 5 catches, 72 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the night. It's a 1-touchdown game from Provo. Back in a moment. 20-10, see you later. Touchdown. In the country.
See the quick cuts that he makes. He's just able on the move to make the cut. He has great vision as a running back. He's making a statement tonight.
22 carries, 198 yards in 2 games. He's already over 400.
Watch the burst when he gets in the secondary. Pretty good angle by Derwin Gray, but he just is able to put it in overdrive for the score.
We asked him how you had to vote on the Heisman right now in the 2nd week of the season. He'd get money whatsoever. Seems to be able to shake off tacklers, stay in the pocket, and get it done.
Mike, I made a point earlier. Now stick with it. The defensive line of San Diego State is tired, and they're getting sloppy. And they're allowing John Walsh the long amount of time to find Jamal Willis down the corner for the big yardage. San Diego State.
2 more yards and
up, and they got close. I look for Darnay Scott. A little quick out pattern to Darnay Scott here.
Lowry does throw the quick pattern, but instead Johnston back to the 30-yard line. A return to 21 after a 42-yard punt, and that has them pumped up in Provo.
Punt return guy, you have to make the first man miss. Then the blocking set up. Number 84.
Defensive stand. Walsh on a little half roll is in trouble. Gets away again. Drake wide open. Touchdown.
key situations all night. John Walsh has looked for number 18, Eric Drage, but there had to be a breakdown in coverage. I watched Eric Drage from the start of the play. No one picked him up. Man-to-man coverage, they just let him go. He was wide open. Look, no one picks him up. He's wide open. I watched him from the start. He was wide open. John Walsh had time to deliver. Just a bust in coverage for the touchdown.
Rex was wide open, too. He could have thrown it to either one.
Just another look at John Walsh finding the open receiver, Eric Drage, for the touchdown. You can bet one thing, Marshall Faulk's going to get back on this field.
And watch John Walsh after the play. He is nailed by Taraj Smith. And he's got something to say to Smith after the touchdown. Yes, sir. In your face.
On ESPN.
Walsh, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. 200 and counting. Out to the 33-yard line, very close to it. And Lowry throw on 2nd and inches. Intended for Scott. And that ball sailed a little bit behind him. Good coverage by. Cuts it outside. Slips a tackle. Goodbye. Falk shoved out of bounds at the 20-yard line, and that was a saving play by Patrick Mitchell. Holy, 10 yards of carry.
That's the only thing maybe you hope for BYU. He tires himself out and has to go to the sideline.
That's right. 1st and 10, and Pittman is in there. Lowry guns this one to Williams. Did he make the catch or not? BYU signaling no. The officials haven't figured it out yet. And they say he did make the catch. 2nd and a yard. BYU showing blitz. Here they come. Pittman hitting the backfield. They'll lose several on that as Kevin Nickel led the... What a tremendous performance he seems to put on every time he straps on the helmet. Lowry with a quick toss for Scott. Touchdown. He beat Vic Tarleton. And Lowry laid it right in there.
Involved blocking. Here's the one-on-one fade route to Darnay Scott. Just right over this. You can't throw that ball any better.
Tarleton was... Walsh again, the quick set. Gets it out to Sterling. 1st down and more. Broken tackle, forced out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. Otis Sterling out of Riverside, California, has outstanding speed on the outside. Made a nice move to get loose. And they will run this play in no time. We'll count off the scoreboard. We will still have 15 full minutes of action to go in the 4th quarter. And actually, so the penalty is moved from the spot of the foul, so it's 1st and 9.
And it's 1st and 9 right now.
They actually gained a yard. Willis. Grabbed by the ankle and brought down by Terrell Steen.
Eric Drage, number 18. You like crossing routes against man coverage. Let's see if they try to cross the receivers.
Drage has already caught 7 for over 100 yards. This time Walsh will not be able to get away. Straight 4-man rush. For Drage. He caught it! Holy cow, what a catch!
My 3rd down and long yardage, and BYU's thinking was just throw the ball deep, try to take Eric Drage and get a chance on Damon Perry. But look at the cushion that he has here. Damon Perry's in good shape. This is just going to be a straight route, but Eric Drage with great concentration. Look at him. He knows he has to play that ball off there. Nice concentration by Eric Drage.
Perry was in perfect position.
I don't think Lavelle Edwards has a choice here. The way the San Diego State offense is manhandling his defense, he has to answer with touchdowns, not field goals.
Yeah, I don't think he can expect that San Diego State will be held scoreless in the 4th quarter.
No.
4th and goal from the 8.
There's some surprised they're not going out of shotgun.
Drage to the top of your screen. That's where Walsh wants to go, and he throws it too high. Pieri with excellent coverage out there. Falk just adding to the numbers. Crashes up the middle. Out to the 33-yard line. Mike, not a bad guy to throw to either. Lowry lost the ball. And the official is saying it's an incomplete pass. Good protection. Throws to his tight end, Rex. And Rex has a first down out near the Brigham 30-yard line. Stop that time. Sebastian Blake willing to take it.
They're willing to take it. The clock, 8:39 on the clock, and they're stopping it with first downs. They're running little option routes there to Bryce Doman, 83, and picking up 10, 12 yards in a chunk.
Walsh over 300 yards passing on the night for his second consecutive game. Check the blitz. They pick it up very well, and he has time, throws too high. And there are the numbers, the 4 touchdowns. Just clubbing that they're still down by 2. Walsh chased out of the pocket and sacked again. Ramondo Stallings. The shotgun on 3rd and long. They want a screen to Hall. Got to cut it back the other way. He's got a big wall of blockers over there. And what a tackle by Robert Griffin. Oh, man. Lowry for Williams and overthrown. And that will stop the clock with 5:19 to go, and San Diego State will have to kick it away. Punt. They have the ball at the San Diego State 47, down by 2 touchdowns. 5:12 to go. They have to score here. Walsh with a pump fake and then wants to go deep. Sterling. And just couldn't hold to get open all night long.
He's as important to his team as Marshall Faulk is to San Diego State. Eric Drage, number 18. Big play after big play.
On 2nd and 25, they pick up 53.
Eric Drage, you see him at the top of your screen just looking for the hole on zone coverage. And then Darrell Lewis misses the tackle, which provides the opportunity for Eric Drage to take the ball all the way down to the 11, 12-yard line.
9 catches, 198 yards for Drage. And a huge play for BYU. Hall on the delay. No place to go. Stacked up at the 13.
They brought Eric Drage in motion, which gave him more room in the corner of the end zone. If they line him up to the right, I would look for him to try to hit him in the corner of the end zone on the fade route.
And Marshall Faulk has to be thinking, not again. This happened last year. Not this time. With his 5th touchdown pass of the night. And tight end Byron Rex wide open in the end zone.
They used Eric. This going to be open in the corner. John Walsh delivers. No one on him. Everybody was on number 18. Their attention was to Eric Drage.
And that's not a bad
Red and white. Penn State's Richie Anderson went 34 yards here. He had 12 carries, 103 yards, 27-0 at that point in the 3rd. Joe Paterno also saw his defense play well, as Temple hasn't beaten Penn State since 1941. Penn State won it 49-8. And another one, Villanova beat Bucknell 34-0. Delaware over UMass. Gettysburg beat Widener. Morris Brown over Cheney. Lehigh beat Fordham. And Swarthmore over Catholic University. In the top 25 today, number 3 Notre Dame and number 6 Penn State. Check out this run here. Reggie Brooks, the brother of the Eagles' Tony Brooks, off 2 tackles, 3 tackles, 4 tackles, 5, 6 tackles. 7-0 Notre Dame. And Michigan came back to lead 17-7 at the beginning of the 4th. Elvis Graybeck to Derek Alexander here. Later, Notre Dame came back and tied it, and that's how it finished. Tied. Notre Dame 17, Michigan 17. And other ones, Washington was the winner over Wisconsin.
Harrison Hurst over 100 yards again. This is a 17-yard touchdown run. Georgia leads it by 4. 31-27. 50 seconds left. 1st and goal. Heath Schuler, the quarterback, keeps it, gives Tennessee a 3-point lead. 25 seconds left. Eric Zier down the middle for Andre Hastings. A field goal to tie, a touchdown to win, a fumble to lose, and he fumbles. Reggie Ingram recovers, and the Volunteers win it by 3. Schuler actually scored 2 touchdowns. Zier 18 of 26, but had 2 interceptions. Georgia had 6 turnovers as Garrison Hurst ran for 144 yards.
Sports college football at its best. Number 4 Florida State visiting 14th ranked Clemson as the Tigers rub Howard's Rock for good luck at Death Valley, and it paid off for a while. DB James Trapp deflects the pass, then makes the catch and takes off for the end zone, weaving through would-be Seminole tacklers on the way to a 40-yard interception return for 6. Clemson led FSU 2017 late in the game, but that's when the Noles' Charlie Ward found Kenny Knox for the 10-yard scoring strike, and that was enough as the number 4 Noles knock off Clemson 24-20. Number 3 Notre Dame hosting 5th-ranked Michigan. Irish running back Reggie Brooks breaks 6 Wolverine tackles on the way into the end zone, where he collapses as the Irish go up 7-0. But Michigan came back to score 17 points. Elvis Gerbeck 2 TD throws, including one of 30 yards to his man Alexander. The Irish came back to tie it at 17, and with 65 seconds left, Gerbeck was intercepted by Notre Dame's Jeff Burris, and this one ends in a 17-17 tie. Florida quarterback and Heisman candidate Shane Matthews showed off his entire repertoire against Kentucky. Whether lobbing touchdown passes, throwing them on the run, throwing them deep down the middle on the post, or just zipping them in there, he had 4 for scores in a 35-19 Gator win over Kentucky. Washington beats Wisconsin by 17. Texas A&M downs Tulsa. Alabama beats Southern Miss. Syracuse by 10 over Texas. Penn State clubs Temple. Nebraska hammers Middle Tennessee State. Oklahoma blasts Arkansas State. Colorado outscores Baylor. Tennessee scores in the last minute to beat Georgia. NC State 4 better than Maryland. UCLA over Cal State Fullerton. LSU surprises Mississippi State. Purdue slugs California. Ohio State beats Bowling Green. Virginia sinks Navy. Georgia Tech bests Western Carolina, and Stanford over Oregon.
And fans eager to get their first home look at the 1992 version of the Nittany Lions. Penn State, already victorious on the road, was anxious to see if the old axiom held true, that you improve most between your first and second games. And by the 4th possession against Temple, they were about to get their answer.
The handoff to JT. Look out, he's got some room. He's at the 50. JT at the 45, the 40. He gets away from a tackle at the 30, down to the 20, down to the 15, and finally tripped up at the 15-yard line.
Blasted himself up the middle. Good, quick trap. Turned to the outside, and then he got into full gear. He can break tackles in open field.
Wally Richardson on first down. Pitches back to Richard Anderson. Anderson at the 10. He's at the 5. Breaks the tackle and goes in for the touchdown.
That's that short side toss. This time they blitzed not only the outside linebacker, they blitzed the cornerback. Anderson broke it back to the inside. Very strong running back. A 215-pound running back, and got into the end zone.
Anderson had the only score of the first quarter, but the Penn State offense was like a snowball rolling downhill, about to turn into an avalanche.
Here's the handoff to O'Neal. Has a hole up the middle. He's at the 40. Breaks the tackle. He's at the 45, the 50. Brian O'Neal is turning on the speed. He's at the 20, the 15, the 10. Taken down at the 6-yard line by Tony Angelo.
Quick fullback trap up the middle. I didn't think O'Neal at 232 could run that fast, Bill. I'll tell you, key block by Jarrett, number 57, picked off the linebacker, enabling O'Neal to make a cut back to his left.
The momentum built as J.T. Morris followed with all but the final inches.
Ryan Grube, the 3rd tight end in this short yardage situation. Here's the quarterback sneak. Wally Richardson is in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Penn State.
Great surge by the center, 2 guards. Blew back a big Temple defense. There's some big boys in there. Nice drive.
The extra point failed, but not much else did. There was plenty to cheer about for the blue and white, and not just the running game, even when aided by a personal foul penalty.
On first down, play action. Wally Richardson looking to throw deep. Boy, does he unload this one for O.J. McDuffie. O.J. is there, makes the catch at the 10-yard line and goes down.
That was a check-off. It was an automatic. They read the single coverage on O.J., put him on a fly pattern, and Richardson laid that ball out there beautifully.
On the very next play, the Lions lost the ball. But when they got it back, well done was the best way to describe their next drive. Wally Richardson and O.J. McDuffie were cooking with gas via the forward pass.
Wideouts to each side, I formation in the backfield again. Fake and a throw and a completion to O.J. McDuffie at the 15.
Nice pass, nice route by O.J. They're starting to utilize him, but that's the same play they ran before that he missed him.
And Richardson is back to pass. He throws. This one is complete down to the 8-yard line and down to the 4-yard line in Penn State.
Penn State knew they could get another first down close to the end zone, and they went to the short pass. 3rd and 1 it is, Bill.
Once again, a fumble cost them a chance to get into the end zone, but not all was lost. The trusty right foot of Craig Fayak was good for 3, and the halftime lead was 16. The home folks were already waving goodbye to Temple. And in the second half, the Lions tried to chase the Owls home for good.
E.J. Sandusky at center, snaps it back to Wally Richardson. Handoff to Richard Anderson, gets around the corner. He's at the 45, the 50, 45, 40, 35, and knocked out of bounds by Darrell Nelson at the 33-yard line.
They blitzed the outside linebacker, and Anderson felt that he could beat him to the outside. Gave him a little shoulder fake, turned it up another gear, got around the corner, almost went all the way.
It was a good day for us today on the ground. We stuck with our game plan and things like that. It worked out good for us.
Second down, 10 to go. Richardson waving out to his wide receivers. Takes the short drop, lobs one for O.J., hits him. He makes his spin at the 15, and he's down to the 10 and 8-yard line.
But what a throw, Bill. They roll up the corner, had a double on O.J. Richardson took just a little bit off the ball, right into O.J.'s arms.
But another Penn State drive would die inside the red zone when Richardson misfired to McDuffie on 3rd down. That's what the foot of Fayak is for. His 22-yard field goal made it 19-0, and Penn State wasn't kidding around anymore. It was time to reverse the trend and get back into the end zone.
Tyson Thomas left, McDuffie to the right side. Troy Drayton, the tight end. Here's the draw play to Richard Anderson. Has a hole. He's at the 35, the 20. He's out of the 25, the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Richard Anderson.
As the cornerback tried to fold to the inside, make the tackle, O.J. McDuffie turned him out, put him on his back, and Anderson could make that cut and go for a touchdown.
Making up for the failed kick earlier, the Lions went for 2, and guess who caught the conversion pass? O.J. McDuffie. The comfortable lead allowed Joe Paterno to start getting some valuable playing time to some other Nittany Lions, like wide receiver Tyson Thomas, battling back from an injury. But he wasn't the only new wrinkle.
Richardson under center, 2nd down and 8 to go. Takes the snap, he's back to pass. He's looking under pressure, throws over the middle, complete to Archie, touchdown, Penn State. Mike Archie scores his first touchdown as a Nittany Lion.
But how about that pass? It was just a crossing pattern. Richardson stayed in the pocket, waited for Archie to come across and free up, getting away from the defender, and led him right in front where he could pluck the ball with his hands.
Archie from Sharon, Pennsylvania, was part of the great running back recruiting 2 seasons ago, and his touchdown set up another McDuffie conversion reception. And another blue chip running back from that same class is Stephen Pitts from New Jersey.
Here's the handoff to Stephen Pitts, sweeping the right side. He's through the line of scrimmage. He's at the 30, down to the 25 and 23.
A nice cutback by Pitts. That was a short side sweep, and he cut it back against the pursuit. And for a young back, he did a good job.
Pitts was one of 10 different ball carriers to contribute to the win over Temple.
Here's Wally Richardson. Handoff to Stephen Pitts, following Todd Rucci right into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown, Penn State, a 10-yard run by Stephen Pitts.
Made it look easy, didn't he, Bill? Nobody there to block. But he shows good speed, though.
Yep.
Every play is, is a hard play. So no matter when either the 3 of us get in, myself, Mike Archie, or Kijana, we run hard. So, and you're right, yeah, we only do get a few plays, but, the plays that we do get in there, we run hard.
Things were looking up in the stands and on the scoreboard, and in the fourth quarter, Matt Nardolillo came in at quarterback, and the offensive success continued with his toss to Brian Curley.
I was real comfortable, ready to play. I'm a little disappointed I couldn't get in there a little bit earlier, but that's the way things go. But I felt good when I got in there. It was really good to get in, throw a few balls.
Kajana Carter, you got it, same recruiting class, only he's from Ohio, took his turn to show off the running game of the future.
Takes the handoff again, comes back and goes in for the touchdown. Kajana Carter, 2-yard run, and Penn State gets a touchdown from a fourth of their tailback.
Well, they're using Archie in the slot a lot, more than he is as a running back. I wouldn't be surprised. He's a potential flanker.
Lion fans cheered till they were blue in the face, although Temple's David Jenkins broke the shutout with a little over 6 minutes to play. The final score of 49-8 had the Nittany Lion doing a lot of push-ups. And Joe Paterno's team at 2-0.
Now, or they could have called it on Brian Forte for the head sneak. Four-man rush. Forte had that one tipped at the line of scrimmage. And it looked like Del Seagraves. Red shirt front. Forte to the shotgun. Here comes the blitz, and he'll run. Forte with room. Trying to get to the sticks, and he is just shy of a first down outside the 30. A gain of 19. And now it's decision time for the Scarlet Knights. Gutsy move by Forte. This program. Quarterback keeper Forte lost the football on the snap, and it will go over on downs. And the Panthers want to hammer it. Martin diving across the 35 to about the 37. Into the ball game at fullback, and he'll get the carry, and Williams piling ahead for the first down. They'll mark it out near the 43-yard line. Alex Van Pelt, of course, wants to throw the ball a little bit. He is only 31 yards shy of breaking Dan Marino's all-time passing yardage mark. First throw complete in the flat, a little flanker screen. Midfield and more. They got it out to Bill Davis. George Stewart, one of the linebackers. A lot longer throw than it looks, and that ball stayed up in the air a long, long time. 3rd and 8 now for the Scarlet Knights. Comes the blitz. Forte from behind. He's decked. And that was Gerald Simpson, the right outside linebacker. The redshirt freshman gets his first sack of the year, and he had a bead on Forte the whole way. Here, I think you have to get the points. I know you disagree.
They haven't ever beaten Pitt. They got to go for the touchdown. Two schools of thought here. You pull the ball and you roll the corner and you throw to the flat, or you have the hard cadence, try to get them off sides. If you don't, then you just come out and kick the field goal.
Brantley and Garantano, their two best receivers, go to the left. Forte to Brantley. It is incomplete. Nearly picked off in the end zone by Vernon Lewis. Achievement by Alex Van Pelt. Play action. Nice fake. He wants more. He's got Gels out there and overthrows him.
Panthers were knocked into darkness by West Virginia 44-6. Pitt was thought with Rutgers next that they were going to have a break. They'd won 9 of 9 against the Scarlet Knights, and Van Pelt entering the game needing just 31 yards to surpass Dan Marino's school record for passing yardage at Pitt. But actually, he said that the yardage mark not as important as winning. Tough to do against a hard-hitting Scarlet Knight team. This last one on the sideline is tough stuff. Third quarter, 7-3 Rutgers. Brian Forte, the transfer from Miami, hitting Bruce Presley, who goes 58 yards for the touchdown. Rutgers had a 14-3 lead in the third. Pitt had 2nd and 21. Van Pelt airing it out for Dietrich Gels, who is loose down the sidelines, 91 yards, and he is happening. Van Pelt finishing the game with 8,961 yards, but also with an interception and he could not bring the Panthers back as the Scarlet Knights win it 21-16. Forte, benched last week, comes back to toss a pair of touchdown passes. Van Pelt throwing for 395 yards and 2 scores. Rutgers 2-1, Pitt 1-2.
And he has scored one of their 2 touchdowns.
And has had great field position too, Brent.
Now Matthews, under pressure, fires to Houston, and Houston steps out at the first down marker at the 20.
Boy, that tight end over on the left side is open. Woo-hoo,
He's going to throw to him. Touchdown, Florida.
I saw that, Brent. There's no way they were going to cover him in that coverage.
So Aubrey Hill came off that stand-up position.
Collins. Michigan leads by 2 touchdowns. A lot of time. Now we'll see how he can run. Quickly out of bounds. Gain of a couple and back to Tim Brando.
In 24 yards, and it's the Sooners over the Trojans 10-0. That game in the 3rd.
Oklahoma trying to go to 3-0 today. They were favored by 11. 3rd down and 6. Collins, folks, was 11 of 14. You can see how he has cooled off, hitting 2 early touchdown passes. Johnson with 3 receivers. Collins. A lot of time. Jesse Johnson in the flat.
Collins pass to 4th quarter.
And the rain as well.
Schuler, good block by his back, steps outside, throws incomplete.
Carlton Miles got a real...
Now on 2nd down, Matthews throwing in the rain, and this is to Jackson out to the 32-yard line. 1st down for the Gators. Tally there defensively.
I mean, it's more than a shower. It is pouring.
The crowd is up and cheering the rain. They just break out their rain gear here in Tennessee and say, let's get it on. It is pelting Neyland Stadium. Matthews sets a screen to Rhett, and Tally read it.
Boy, it's almost impossible.
2nd down. Rhett, cut back. Down at the 35-yard line. Moss Phillips breaks out of the backfield. To the right and looking for a receiver. He'll keep it. Schuler battled his way in for a touchdown.
Boy, this kid is a tough kid. He runs like a running back, though he is a quarterback. Good legs on him. Physically well put together, really skilled. High school parade, USA Today All-American, demonstrating and why he won those honors. Shane Matthews came in here as a nominee, a leading candidate for the Heisman. This guy will be in that category 2 years down the road.
Folks in Knoxville don't even know it's raining. I love it every point right now.
I'm with David Klingler and company up in Champaign a year ago. They would get a measure of revenge. 9-7 at halftime. Watch the huge hit on Jim Klein of the Illini. It's Michael Newhouse, the cousin of Robert Newhouse. Last play of the game, Cougars up by 21. Donald Douglas, he said he audibled to this play, that John Jenkins did not call it. Jenkins never reluctant to run up the score and rub it in, especially after the embarrassment last year. Houston win it 31-13. Jason Verduzco, a rough day, held under 100 yards passing. Purdue They shocked Cal last week. They're beaten by Toledo, 33-29. Toledo, pretty good ball club. They go to 2-1. Kevin Meager, 305 yards and a touchdown. Wisconsin Mountaineers down 33-14. Darren Studstill to Adrian Morrell, who leaps into the end zone, 33-21. Then Studstill looking for Ed Hill, finding him, 6-yard strike. And finally, with 1:20 to go, Studstill one more time for Morrell. 20 yards away. This is the game winner and a huge Mountaineer comeback as the heartbreak continues for Maryland. Beaten by NC State on the last play a week ago. They lose in the big comeback to drop to 0-3.
We told you he was sure-handed. This was a Houdini act here.
Absolutely. You know, great coverage by Syracuse right here. Tony Jones, you see Joseph, they've got him bracketed very well. But you know, the advantage on these passes goes to the offense. We used to say that's why those guys line up on defense, because you throw a ball to everybody the first day of practice, and if you can't catch, you line up on defense.
The Buckeyes by a touchdown.
Concentration on this play. This is one of the passes as a quarterback. If you get it picked off, everybody says you threw it into coverage. But what really happens right here is an athlete is making a play. He keeps his eyes on it. You know, that's something John Cooper really talked to us about, is they needed somebody to stand up and make a big play. And there you see what Brian did, finishing off that great soaring drive.
Capping the 80-yard.
We'll do what we have to do. Back upstairs.
It's a good thing Brent Johnson stayed home on that kick coverage, because Ismail was looking at that corner and he would have had a lot of green in front. The Orangemen from their own 26-yard line, their second possession. Graves keeps it. Got to the 29. Nice play fake by Graves, and Ismail's got it at the 45 for number 45. First down, Syracuse. Left first quarter, and 2nd and 7. Robert Smith in at tailback as Herb Street wants to swing it out to him. And broke a tackle and got a first down. Sanders in motion. Herb Street pumps once, fires, and got it to state line. First down. Boy, they're using that one. They've used it 3 times already tonight. Let's go to the offense. Has really played well here in the first quarter. Harris breaks a couple of tackles. And he's finally end around to Stabline. If he can get to the stick, he did. What a big line again, and overshot it. Eddie George in the backfield for Ohio State. And he's got it, and he's close. That's real. George. Touchdown. A little bit. Well, he's starting tonight. He had a nice block there. And it's a first down for the Buckeyes at the Orangemen 33-yard line. Herb Street over the middle to his tight end. A pickup of 13 for Cedric Saunders, and another Buckeye first down. Herb Street. North-south a lot for Ohio State's offense. Herb Street play fake, goes to the end zone. Stabline got tackled at the goal line. Interference on Dwayne Joseph. There he is. They'll have the full house backfield again with Cochran and Houston in there with them. Got it. They moved it just outside the Orangemen 1. Eddie George on a toss. Touchdown, Ohio State. His second of the night, right in front of his own fans in that end of the end zone. Ismail and Hill to the top of your screen on 2nd and 11.
They fake the draw to Richardson, and now Graves has to keep it himself. Did get out of bounds and a long 4, at the 14-yard line. The pooch pass, Richardson. And Ohio State played it brilliantly. Mark Williams, the linebacker. Backup quarterback is the holder. He'll put it down at the 22-yard line for Biscuit. 32-yard field goal attempt. And you see the angle. He's got it up and right through the middle.
So 5,000 on hand, and Philip Fulmer becoming one of the great interim coaching stories of all time. But in the rain, the big story, Heath Schuler, Lee.
Heath Schuler is such an athlete. He can roll out and throw the ball. Here he does to Mose Phillips, who goes 66 yards. Sophomore quarterback Schuler is 3-0 as a starter for Tennessee.
Yes, the second best player coming out of high school to Eric Zier that year, you'll recall. Well, the Gators resort to some desperate measures. The fake punt doesn't work. Ben Talley with a big stop. That would set up yet another Schuler touchdown run, 31-14. The Volunteers now set themselves up for the big battle of the third Saturday of October against Alabama. Florida State and NC State over in the ACC. Early in the fourth quarter, take a look at this play by Charlie Ward.
Ward lofts it up, showing a lot of ability to get the ball to his wide receivers, something he hasn't done in the past.
Ward goes deep again, and this is the thing you like about him, Greg.
Well, for a young quarterback, this is a beautiful pass. Shannon Baker and the rest of the wide receivers at Florida State more happy than even the coaching staff that Ward's becoming consistent.
Yes, he's more than a point guard. His assist-to-turnover ratio is improving in week 3. Florida State 34-13 over NC State. Virginia walloped Georgia Tech today, 50. Rob Walker, 18 of 26, 198 yards in the game. Southern Cal, they were trailing by 10. Here, the strike is to Curtis Conway. That made it 10-7. Then in the fourth quarter, Kenyon Rashid will fumble. Stephon Pace will recover it and take it back 19 yards. This would turn out to be the game-winning touchdown. That made it a 20-10 ball game. And Larry Smith gets a much-needed road victory. A little brouhaha at the end of the game. Bench-clearing brawl, but not much of a problem. 20-10, SC with the win over the Sooners. Lee Corso, I want to talk on a Florida A&M team that last played them in '79, and Vince Coleman of the Mets beat them with a field goal. Gino Torretta goes to work here, a 10-yard strike to Lamar Thomas, and Miami leads at 13-0. In the second quarter, Torretta is knocked down. Now watch his left shoulder. Not much help there in cushioning himself in that grass. Torretta left the game with a slight shoulder sprain. Dennis Erickson said afterwards he could have brought him back into the game, didn't because of the score. He was 12 of 22, 170 yards, but he'll be okay for next week's game against Arizona. Notre Dame and Michigan State. This was a blowout, but one play we got to show you. Look at this. Kevin McDougal to Derek Mays. 38 yards. Well, you hear enough about Meyer, right? Let's talk about some of the other guys. A beautiful one-handed catch. Brian Winters could not tear the ball loose. The Irish win it by a final score of 52-31. Whatever happened today? Todd Collins, again, 52-7. John Saka returns 10 of 17, 153 yards. Steve Stenstrom, 21 of 29, 297 yards, couple of TDs over Northwestern, 35 BC today. And Virginia Tech taking on Temple, 26-7 to score there as the Hokies get it done for Frank Beamer. Vaughn Hebron, a very
down at 3. Smith got 7. He'll take it again, and he'll get 3 and then some. First down, Ohio State across the 35 before Kevin Mitchell can put the stop on Robert Smith.
If you remember the
secondary, and the stiff arm on Grosvenor almost broke him loose.
Almost broke something else loose, too.
2 tight ends set for Ohio State. They'll just give it off to their tailback, Smith again. And Robert again stepped out of bounds, and that time he's upset with himself, knowing he should have stayed in.
Absolutely nice. You know, he was just on the sidelines, and I'm sure the coaching staff.
There's the clock, Nebraska. Stabline in motion. Smith brought down after a gain of a couple by Glenn Young. Take it right to the 1-second mark and give it to Robert Smith. Flag down, 2 flags down as Womack takes out Smith on the sideline.
It was a great run, too, and by the jubilation on the Ohio State bench, you wonder if it's a face mask on the play.
He got tagged and still got the first down. Glenn Young gonna go their way. Touchdown, Robert Smith.
tell you, I don't like to heap praise on players, early in their career. But if you don't have a memory of O.J. Simpson running this football when he turns the corner with those long strides, when Robert Smith here, watch the offensive line for Ohio State just fit everyone. It's going to start to the right, and he breaks it back. Now watch him turn it on. Long strides. Sub 45, 44 meter man, 440 meter man, Robert Smith, and keep it.
Called it for the end zone. Bryant can't hold on. Holden zings it. Bruner is tight end. Touchdown. No picking it.
Came off the bench and shunned his red shirt jersey to toss 2 second-half touchdown passes and help Colorado improve to 3-0 and hand Minnesota their 8th consecutive defeat.
Michigan, there's the Nittany Lion leading the chant. 6-0 Penn State when Ramsey is intercepted by Hammonds, who returns it 32 yards for the touchdown score. 14-0 Penn State. Richie Anderson bursts 21 yards up the middle for the score here. 21-0 Penn State, and nice shot of Joe Paterno's outfit coming up. Isn't that nice? Nice pants. And backup QB John Sacco hooks up with O.J. McDuffie, an 8-yard touchdown into the corner of the end zone. 28-0 Nittany Lions, 52-7 the final. UCLA and BYU, number 15 UCLA hung on to beat BYU. Marvin Goodwin intercepted a pass in the end zone with just over 1 minute to play to preserve the win for the Bruins. And Stanford quarterbacks
Cordell Stewart had the bruised toe, was not dressed for this ball game. Enter Duke Tobin. He's 2 of 10 for 12 yards and 5 sacks in the first half, so they make some changes. But Minnesota had things going their way. Let's take a look at what happened in the second half. 10-0, and Markel Fleetwood hit Steve Cambrise with a 2-yard score. It is 17-0 Gophers. Jim Wacker's got them going. 2014 Minnesota, 12:02 left. Ty Detmer's little brother Coy takes off his red shirt and hits Charles Johnson with a 24-yard strike. 21-20 Colorado. 17 seconds left in the game. Aaron Peepcorn with a 55-yard attempt to win the game. Look at this. He is just short. Another 3 yards would have made the difference. Colorado wins it by a final score of 21-20. Michael Westbrook, 8 receptions for 135 yards. He's leading the country in that stat. Alabama and Arkansas, 38 BYU. Lavelle Edwards concerned in Provo, and why not, trailing 17-3. Quarterback John Walsh finds his favorite receiver, Eric Dredge, 19 yards on the post. His 9th touchdown pass of the year, 17-10. Steve Clements in for an injured Walsh, looking into the end zone, instead throwing it away right into the hands of Marvin Goodwin. BYU QBs 14 of 38 with 3 interceptions. Ty, where are you? Bruins win it by a score of 17-10. Stanford, Steve Stenstrom.
Richmond blow open a 14-13 game in the third quarter, scoring 35 points in a 6.5-minute span. Just 13 seconds after Richmond scored on a 78-yard touchdown toss, Nova's Eric Hunt took this one right up the middle, 80 yards for the touchdown, and a 29-20 Villanova lead. But get this, on the ensuing kickoff, Richmond's Rod Booths got the blocking he needed and took it back all the way, 94 yards, made it 29-26 Villanova. But with the Spiders now leading 33-29, Brad Parpan in for Tommy Colombo gets the game winner, a touchdown toss there, as they remain unbeaten. Villanova does, 36 of 33. Meanwhile, in Newark, Delaware, Blue Hen quarterback Billy Bergantino, 179 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, including that 57-yarder there to Anthony Van Treska, 10-0 Rhode Island, make it 17-0. Matt Murrill returns a block punt, 26 yards for another touchdown. Delaware remains unbeaten. They knock off the Rams of Rhode Island, 31-14. Other local action, Virginia
will take it in for the touchdown. Fan, I gotta be a little bit questioning right now, Mike. I'm sorry.
I agree with you, but I tell you what, Mike ran on the sneak. See his left shoe, threw a shoe on his way into the end zone.
Pitch to Coffin. Oh my goodness. Will Height, but then Travis Hill, as he was coming back toward him, is the one that hit him and made him go the other way. Over, swings it out to Coffin. Nice job by Reese in the open field because he is not very easy to bring down one-on-one, but he got just enough of a piece of him. He got the distance, and he's good. 13 minutes, 35 seconds left in this one. That's only the second penalty against Washington in this ballgame. Pressure up the middle. Bruner didn't turn around in time. Of course, he did. You don't just bump him and knock him off his feet. Wanted his former team. I keep calling him former team. That in high school, still his teammate, obviously. Kralik was the man that he was looking for. Will Height on the cover. Well, he's got it. Hansen is automatic. We'll take a break. 29-14 with just over 13 to play. We'll be right back. Hobson is grand. Does not pitch it. One of the middle backers, Dave Hoffman, knocks him down.
In sports. Saturday, the top-ranked Miami Hurricanes grabbed their 20th consecutive win by shutting out Florida A&M 38-0. Gino Torretta passing for 170 yards and 2 TDs, but had to leave the game in the second quarter with a strained left shoulder. The Miami defense extending their Orange Bowl scoreless streak to 9 straight quarters. As coaches go, Joe Paterno should be happy with this one as his 8th-ranked Nittany Lions embarrassed Eastern Michigan 52-7. Quarterback John Saka tossed 2 TD passes as Penn State scored 4 TDs in the first 11 minutes, Nittany Lions upping the record to 2-0. The Ohio State Buckeyes win a big one in the Carrier Dome, 35-12 over Syracuse. Kirk Herbstreit goes 46 yards to Brian Stabline. Buckeyes go to 3-0. The Georgia Bulldogs roll over Cal Fullerton State to the tune of 56-0. Garrison Hurst rushed for 164 yards, 29 of them coming on this TD romp. Bulldogs approved to 2-1. On the scoreboard, Washington stomping Nebraska, Florida State Seminoles over NC State. Tennessee rolls over Florida. Greg Hill goes over the 100-yard mark as Texas A&M upends Missouri. Sophomore quarterback Todd Collins passes for 285 yards as Michigan beats Oklahoma State. Notre Dame, no problem with Michigan State. Likewise, Alabama with Arkansas. Stephon Pace with a 19-yard fumble return for a touchdown as Southern Cal beats Oklahoma. Colorado getting by Minnesota. UCLA downs BYU. Quarterback Rob Walker completing 18 of 26 for 198 yards. Virginia surprises Georgia Tech. Stanford beats Northwestern. Vanderbilt surprises Ole Miss. And Houston...
But Miami, would the Hurricanes be looking ahead to the showdown next week with Florida State? It certainly appears so, although give some credit to Arizona. The Wildcats coming to play today. Gino Torretta, a rough day. Robert Bass with a huge hit. Second quarter, Zona up 2-0 when a safety, and Billy Johnson takes it in from 9 yards out. Miami had led on his safety. Now Arizona jumps in front, and Miami down at halftime for the first time since '86 at home before Torretta finds Dietrich Clausel the touchdown. Bad news, Rusty Medeiros taken off with a dislocated left knee. He will not return, and the Cane defense is trying to hang on without him. 10-16 to play in the fourth quarter. Miami up by 1. The 46-game home winning streak is in jeopardy. Even if they win, do they hang on to the ranking? We'll talk about that game and keep you updated throughout the show. Cincinnati against Tennessee in Knoxville, and Johnny Majors return to the press box. He watches his quarterback, Keith Schuler, running the option here and gets a nice block by Mario Brunson to spring him from 5 yards out. 7-zip balls. Then the true freshman, Sean Summers, takes the punt at the 23 and takes it down the far sideline. 77 yards for the touchdown. The Volunteers roll. This is a Bearcats team that played Penn State within 4 points. The Volunteers roll into Death Valley, LSU next week on ESPN today. He missed last week and really didn't show up this week mentally. Intercepted here by Carlos James. Iowa in business at the 20-yard line. Led to a field goal. 3-zip Hawkeyes. Lee, a bad day for Stewart.
Yeah, but Cordell Stewart gets hit from the backside here. That's not his fault. He's a first-year starter. This was an excellent pass by Stewart. It was just a tremendous interception by Scott Platt of Iowa.
Nearing halftime here, Stewart fumbles one more time. He had 4 turnovers in the first half, so Bill McCartney goes to Coy Detmer. Could he bail him out? The true freshman for a second week in a row. Christian Fourier, the big tight end, open in the end zone. Detmer finds him. 14-6 Buffaloes. In the fourth quarter, it's 21-12, and look at the perfect strike. Detmer finding Charles Johnson in stride. 74 yards. That was an insurance touchdown. Colorado holds on 28-12. Finally, a Big 8 team surviving a tough non-conference game. Houston and Michigan in the Big House. Chris Maraviglia, the kicker for the Cougars, a custom-made Italian shoe. He didn't kick it deep enough on the opening kickoff because Tyrone Wheatley, back from the injury, takes this one back. 99 yards. Michigan up 7-0 instantly. Then Todd Collins would come in with Elvis Gerbach struggling, and Collins finds the freshman sensation Mercury Hayes, who lives up to his nickname, 43 yards down the near sideline. Michigan up 21-0, and Desmond loving his whole team, 61-7. Mercifully for Houston, this one just about over. The Cougars are not going to be throwing any touchdown passes on the final play to rub it in this week. Ole Miss and Georgia, between the hedges. Ugg's boys showed up today and came to play. 20-3 in the third quarter. Eric Zier finds Garrison Hurst, who's just in the midst of a brilliant season. 63 yards for a touchdown. Hurst and the Dogs really putting a hurt on Ole Miss. Hurst 40 yards rushing here. You get shoved into the hedges. The Dogs getting excited. 37-11 is the final as Georgia goes to 3-1. 9 touchdowns so far this year for Garrison Hurst in the ACC. Carolina and NC State, a rivalry dominated in recent years by the Wolfpack. The Tar Heels, Jason Staniszek, this is what he gives them at quarterback. The scrambling, 13 yards and the nice dive into the end zone, tied the game at 7. Now it's tied at 13 in the fourth quarter. Terry Jordan making big plays when he has to for the Pack. Eddie Goins up the middle for 19 yards. And then Jordan again, and watch the beautiful leaping catch by Goins down at the 1-yard line, Craig.
Yeah, watch the replay. Jordan and Goins take advantage of second-string cornerback Eric Thomas. Goins uses his body, shields the defensive back, makes a great reception down to the 1.
They got it in there to go up 20-13, but Dick Sheridan's team couldn't stop Natrone Means on the 1-yard line. That ties the game at 20. Back comes NC State, under a minute to go. Greg Maynard bowls in from 2 yards out. Sheridan beats the Tar Heels for a 5th consecutive year. Terry Jordan would have a brilliant day. 23 of 25, 361 yards and a touchdown. Goins, 9 receptions and 163 yards. Lead Miami. Kevin Shepard sachets through a big hole in the TCU defensive line, and Tom Rossley's team holds on. The long Southwest Conference drought is over. 25 games took since 1961 had the Terrapins beaten Penn State, and that was the only time in history. This is a very, very good Penn State team, and keep an eye on that with Miami coming to town in a couple of weeks. Paterno for president. Well, I don't know. George Bush was in Happy Valley this week. Richie Anderson, he might get some votes, too. A 6-yard touchdown run, then a 25-yard run as he breaks Terrapin tacklers one more time to the end zone. Anderson living up to the face mask there on Maryland, and then Paterno watches one more time as Anderson takes it from 22 yards out. He had 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, 138 yards on the ground. O.J. McDuffie, 176 all-purpose yards. Penn State, 49-13. Here are the stats on Anderson. Much ballyhooed out of high school, has never really lived up to that enormous promise, but he is having a great season so far. Purdue and Notre Dame, a driving rain this afternoon in South Bend. Didn't bother the Irish offense. They just gave it to Reggie Brooks, who runs through the Boilermaker defense for 20 yards here. He had 3 touchdowns.
Look at this Notre Dame blocking, though. This is what makes them special. Jerome Bettis takes the handoff. Aaron Taylor seals off 1 Purdue defender, while number 84, Irv Smith, occupies 2 linemen. It allows Bettis to break free, and it gets a great block from Ray Griggs downfield. Bettis does the rest. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Notre Dame so excited, they decide to high-five everybody on the field.
Demetrius DeBose gives the ref a little high five there. 48-0 is the final. Craig Hentrick missed a PAT. It broke his string of 130 straight. The Irish rushed for 458 yards. Brooks had 205 of those and the 3 touchdowns on the ground. Bettis also rushed for 96. Michigan State and Boston College. The Spartans hammered last week by Notre Dame, and George Corliss trying to reverse another slow start. Meanwhile, Boston College off to the quick start. Their second possession, and Dwight Shirley, 80 yards down the sideline for the touchdown. BC up quickly, 7-zip. They protected the lead. Lee, thanks to an excellent defense.
Mike Marinero sacks quarterback Brent Johnson from the blind side right here. Makes a great play. Remember, this BC defense has allowed only 20 points in 4 games. Watch the hit by Charlie Brennan right there. They're a fine football team.
They have 3 consecutive shutouts, the first time since 1942. Shirley also had a 1-yard touchdown run and 159 yards on the ground. He is one of our teammates here as a pair of 100-yard backs for the Eagles. Chucky Dukes, 153 yards on 25 carries. Arizona already 31-10 Huskers, and look at Bruce Moore, the big fella, steps in, picks off the screen, rumbling down the sideline, 55 yards for the touchdown. Huskers up 38-10. ASU moved the ball all day. They made it a game. It was 38-24 when Lance Lewis, the fullback rather, takes off, chugs it 50 yards. Huskers 45-24, even though Arizona State, how good are they?
But I like their balance now. They can play good defense. Looks like they got a balanced offense. They'll beat Rutgers next week. Then they got Miami October 10th in Happy Valley. Watch out. Penn State is on a collision course with the national championship.
I thought you're going to forget the league championship. If Clemson scores, do you go for 2 or do you go for the tie?
If I'm Clemson right now and I score anything over 3 minutes left on that clock, because I have 2 timeouts, I'm kicking the extra point. Because I have a great field goal kicker, and my defense is 8 seniors, I figure I'll get back for a field goal.
Moncrief rolls the pocket. That is a great job by Tom Johnson. You block. Seekers in front, and the ball is batted down by Marlon Williams. Wow. Williams hit in the backfield by Tom Johnson.
You got to take the field goal now, Ron. With 6:44, there's no doubt. Take the 3, then try to get back down the winner with a score at the end.
And he knocks it home, so the field goal is good.
Their opening night, their 4th straight win today as they rampage their way towards Rutgers next week on their schedule. John Sacca from Delran with another flawless job as the passer, 12 for 23, and a little flip to Richard Anderson that started to put Maryland away. But just to make sure, Anderson now taking over the role as the dominant Penn State tailback. How about this? 2 great cuts behind the line, then breaking through with power on his way to a 129-yard day. 4 scores in all, 3 over land, but look at these holes. Penn State blew it open on Maryland to win it 49-13. But here is the near miss of the night. Miami's top spot on the line against Arizona. Late 3rd, the Canes were down 7-2, but Gino Torretta and Dietrich Clausel, finally, they take an 8-7 lead. They missed the 2-pointer, so final seconds. Arizona can win with a 51-yarder. Steve McLaughlin on the way, long enough, but not straight enough. And Miami gets by 8-7. They were huge favorites by 28 points. They just slide by. Florida State just gets by those Demon Deacons 35-7. They will meet Miami next week. Michigan. Scott Eberle breaks it for 65 yards, set up the go-ahead score. 21-14 Westchester under 3 minutes to go. Delaware forced to the air. Vergantino rolls behind the line. Spots Anthony Ventruska from Doylestown all alone for the score. Decision time. Delaware will go for 2, go for the win. With under a minute to go, Vergantino will try a drag pattern, but there is Chris Emery, the linebacker, with a reflex save for the Rams. Westchester saves it at the buzzer, and a big win over Delaware, 21-20. Penn at Franklin Field looking for their first win. Andy Glockner from 49, our camera guy, keeps his eye on the ball. Greg Meyer kept his eye on the ball. All right, Meyer gamely returned to action to catch Sunday at a rush. Meyer wisely kept his distance this time. Rushed with 100 yards. Nice rush, 100 yards. Penn wins it 24-zip, their first of the year over Colgate, first shutout in 8 years. This just in from Manhattan, Kansas. Temple plays there tonight. Kansas State in the dark. Handoff to number 1 Eric Gallen right at you and into the end zone. Had 114 yards on the night. Kansas State all over Temple, 35-14. The Owls fall to 1.
Torretta rolls it out, buys a little time, has Coleman Bell wide open, touchdown. Something new. Everybody scouts until they develop tendencies, and then you put in a little new wrinkle like the rollout, and something happens.
So here you go. It's going to be a fake reverse with a man coming back this way. But here's the man that's going to get the ball. The tight end's going to come across. The safety will think it's a reverse and go in the opposite direction. Tight end number 17, look at the safety come out of the middle of the field. Torretta takes his time, knows he's got a lot of time, waits for Bell to get open. Touchdown.
Pruitt for the point. It's good. 7 minutes and 36 seconds to play in the first half, and the Miami Hurricanes go to the lead by 3, 10-7. Loretta now is 10 of 17.
Well, you got to cover all 5 of them.
Second down and 8. The Buckeyes at the Badger 29, trailing by 3 with 13 minutes to go first half. The toss to Benote. And the Badgers do an excellent job of stretching it out. And Shackelford, the nose man, does the number.
And has been watching it.
Casper on the blitz. Herbstreit for Sanders to the 3. Beautifully thrown ball. And Sanders with back-to-back big receptions in this drive.
Well, it was like sticking
in the previous 3 games.
That'll be the Eddie George show.
George scored 3 touchdowns 2 weeks ago against the Syracuse Orangemen. He's in a full house backfield, and a broken play has Herbstreit going down for a loss. Gary Casper, 2nd and goal at the 6. 2 tight ends for Ohio State. Eddie George. Casper and Norvett. He gets up for Ohio State. He really played in only about 3 games last year due to injuries, but 9 of his 32 tackles last season came against Ohio State. He's on that kind of pace today. Herbstreit tosses to Harris. No place to go. And it's Shackelford who made first contact, and then Reggie Holt cleaned up.
10 career, I was hurting, and it's just a great place, great venue.
You and I went down to State Street last night, had a little brats and a little cheese fries, and it was already cooking down there.
Is what we had.
3rd down and goal at the 8-yard line. This student,
that's right. Student section.
It's also Parents' Day, and a lot of the folks without the shirts have mom and dad here too. Let's see what the Buckeyes have come up with on 3rd and goal at the 8-yard line.
You wonder if they didn't call timeout to get Stabline in the game, because he is in there.
There he is, up to the slot in the top of your screen. Sanders and Beatty, the other wideouts for Herbstreit. In trouble. We'll try one from 36 yards out. 3 out of 5 on the year. And now he's 4 out of 6. We got a tie game.
It was Miami that called that last one. The ball is just inside the 13-yard line. Clay Shiver is back in at center. And they go to the shotgun. Ward looking around. Takes off. He gets to the 5. And that will be Vanover comes to the bottom. Ward looks to the top, goes to the corner, has a man, incomplete. That is a very good play by Ryan McNeil. Number 47, the pass intended for Kez McCorvey. Well, you can't throw. Or 2nd and goal from the 5. Ward rolls out, and the pass to the end zone is incomplete. And the man doing the harassing on the play was number 2 for the Miami Hurricanes, and he's a rush specialist, Rohan Marley. Rowan. Here they come. They just miss him. He gets his pass in the end zone, and it is too high. Intended for Vanover, but Klein and Patrick were both coming. And they force him to throw it on the move, and he can't put it on the numbers. Could have had that one. And this one is good.
Static.
Just outside the 5, 2nd and goal. Harris broke a tackle and scored.
Raymond Harris in the end zone for an Ohio State touchdown.
Raymond Harris from 5 yards out.
Miami 10. Loretta's pass, good. Bell. And Bell's going to have about 8 yards as he gets to the 44-yard line of Florida State. It's a posse. 3rd and 2. they come. Passes away, and as Williams looks back, the ball arrives, and he can't react to it, and Miami will punt. 10. They're playing field position football right now. Ward ducks away, still ducking away, and finally they get him up around the 17. Charlie didn't.
That's very deceiving because of sacks that are taken into account. But Wisconsin has had the better of it on the ground. Street from the shotgun. 3rd and 7. High intended for his tight end. Saunders was out there, and Street overthrew it. Football is brought to you by Badgers, who lead by a touchdown with 14:41 left. Still a long way to go in this Big Ten opener for the Buckeyes and the Badgers. And Moss is all wrapped up by Wilkinson and Greg Smith. And let's go to Tim Brown.
David Gordon, a former soccer player at Vermont, has his field goal try blocked. If Miami loses, not a single team will be totally unblemished in the Big East.
Talked about Kirk Virginia as Boston College tried to get to 5-0 for the first time since 1954, and that touchdown run by Dwight Shirley from 7 yards out had given Boston College a 24-17 lead. But then Adrian Morrell, the leading rusher in the Big East, answered with that 34-yard touchdown run, and Morrell 16 carries for 150 yards. A last-minute field goal attempt by Boston College, 28 seconds left, was blocked by the Mountaineers. It winds up at 24 apiece. Clemson welcomes the University of Tennessee Chattanooga into Death Valley, South Carolina today. And the Moccasins of Tennessee Chattanooga are going to pay for the losses pinned on Clemson by Florida State and Georgia Tech. It is 48-3 Tigers now in the 3rd quarter. Navy has yet to score this year, and as of a year ago. Purdue and Northwestern. Northwestern still looking for a win for its first-year coach Gary Barnett, and leading 21-7 at the half. 2 touchdown catches, one of them for 70 yards by Lee Gissendenner of Northwestern, who leads the nation in punt returns, a big play player for the Wildcats. And Vanderbilt has its hands full traveling to the loveliest village on the plains to play the Auburn Tigers. Pat Dye's team leading 10-0 at halftime. Auburn, as you see, has dominated the series in recent years, but Vanderbilt, under last year's SEC Coach of the Year, Jerry DiNardo, Notre Dame alum, had won 4 of its last 5 games coming into today's play. That's a look at
against Arizona. He said it was his worst game he ever played. Only 14 of 40 now, but when you run, you scramble, you help your team pick up a first down, gives you a new set of downs.
That is the longest Miami rush of the day, too, incidentally, of 13 yards. Pass going all the way across the field and caught by Donnell Bennett.
In this building, in this park. It really is the fans are close. It's like Fenway Park, the old Wrigley Field. They are really getting involved.
Hand off to McGuire. They got it. Coleman Bell makes the catch at the 33 of Florida's 10. Miami owns the football. First down. Just inside the 34. It'll be officially the 33-yard line of Florida State. Don't they have 12 people on the field?
Yeah, little mix-up. Substitution late.
Oh, boy. Hurry up. Get it away just in time. Put it up high. 100. Make the catch. Touchdown. Upland. Toretta is clobbered on the play. It's Lamar Thomas. Lamar Thomas is the hero under the pile. The coaching staff holding their breath as Toretta was really busted. He put it up in the air, and Lamar Thomas ran it down.
That's Abraham, the defensive back. Thomas is 6'3". Abraham is 5'9".
36-yard line. 3rd down and 17. Ward steps away from the pressure. Wants
to go deep. Does go deep. Baker's down there, but he has no chance to get to the ball. And it's 4th down. So a spectacular. Loretta's pass to the sideline is good, and that's good for a 1st down.
It's 3rd and 2. Herbstreit buying time. Touchdown. And Stabline took a shot. And another penalty marker down.
But we talked about what it's like playing in big games, and right at the end of this game, that was a silly play by the defense right there, because that's going to put the ball up on about the 45-yard line for the onside kick play.
End zone with a 2nd and 9.
I think they're going to have to throw the ball to get a 1st down.
They'll try it. DeRamus, and across the middle to Montgomery. I thought he was going to go to his wide receiver. Instead, he got it to his fullback, and they're still about a yard short.
Result of the play, i.e. touchdown.
Hello there.
But that's academic because all right, 3rd and 8. Big play here at Florida State is to see the ball again. Loretta's pass for Thomas is incomplete. And it's 4th down and 8. And Florida State.
Shovel to Cochran. He's met head-on at the 29-yard line by Dwight Reese, who's come back in on a very, very bad ankle and trying to tough it out for the Badger defense.
Still plenty of time. 2 timeouts left for Ohio State. No hurry. 250s an eternity in a fast break offense.
2nd and 8. Crossing his Stabline, but he couldn't hold it. And the free safety.
I think Charlene had it right. Dan McCarney saying someone has to make a play for Wisconsin's defense.
Stabline. His knee went down. It'll be 4th and almost 5.
Up for the 1st down.
3rd down, call it 6. Got to move the chains to stop the clock. Ward's in trouble.
Cannot take a sack. You cannot.
He's going down, and Darren Klein got that one.
Herbstreit on a bad wheel. Will try to get it himself, and he won't.
Somebody's been equally brilliant for Florida State.
It was a big emotional loss for this defensive team for the Hurricanes last week when Rusty Medeiros, their emotional leader, went out. 4th down.
57 seconds. Down the middle, he's got a man. McCorvey, 1st down for the Seminoles at the 42-yard line. So Ward. Got a 1st down. That'll stop the clock again at 36 seconds. It's now on the Miami side of the field. This day. There's the catch. Brilliant catch by Fryer. Matt Fryer sold out. He's only 5'11", but he extended every sinew in his body to make this catch.
Well, you can't play defense any better than that. An outstanding catch and throw.
24 seconds. The ball at the Miami 25. Ward got some room on the sideline.
and steps out of bounds. So he used 20 out of 39, 261, and 2 interceptions.
Cannot take a sack.
Incomplete, off the hands of Shannon Baker.
No sack.
39-yarder. Lowry hit it long enough. He missed it to the right. The game is over. And Bobby Bowden wonders why Lord me.
Late Dawson wide left. Watch him. He's Meyer's key receiver. He's one-on-one. Meyer goes the other way, and it's intercepted in the end zone. John Lynch, who else, runs out of bounds at the 25-yard line. He's having the game of a lifetime.
That is exactly what Lou Holtz did not want to have happen. At the very worst, you want to come out of there with a field goal. That puts you within 1 in this ball game, and you don't have to get it back in winning. He has to be the guy.
Roberts has the first down.
Have the remainder of the season. Now, it wasn't easy, but Washington hung on to defeat Southern Cal 17-10. The Huskies' toughest game the rest of the season is Stanford at Washington. They do not play a very good UCLA team this season. UCLA pretty good, and they won't play them. So they can go the rest of the season undefeated with that Mickey Mouse Pac-10 schedule they have. Let's go to Seattle and take a look. This was a tough game, but they were up. Washington was 14-0. Billy Joe Holbert, 18-yard touchdown pass to Joe Kralik. Washington goes up 14-0, but Southern Cal came back and had a chance to tie late in the game. But Walt Bailey will intercept for Washington, and Washington goes on to win it. The score there, 17-10. 2 and 3 played against each other today, and Miami stayed undefeated with a 1916 win against Florida State. Now, Miami always finds a way to beat this team. They have won 7 of the last 8 years. If Miami wins next week at Penn State, they probably should be #1 again. Let's go to the Orange Bowl in Miami and take a look. Terrific football game. Mostly all in the second half with Miami down 16-10. The pass there by Toretto to Lamar Thomas. And that put Miami up 17-16. Good defense against Florida State in the fourth. Watch the hit. Michael Barrow, ooh, and that hurts. Watch this play. 3 mistakes. First the catch, then the run, and you watch the rest.
Rolling around, my gosh, it's touchdown Miami. I don't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, well, I do, because Florida State always seems to choke in this game, and Bobby Bowden can't believe it either. But Florida State had one last chance to tie, and this probably serves them right for going for the tie. They, again, second straight year, missed the field goal at the end, and Miami wins it 19-16. Now, the next big game on the schedule today was Stanford at Notre Dame. The Cardinal won for the second straight time at South Bend with Bill Walsh out-coaching Lou Holtz. Let's go to South Bend, Indiana, and take a look. Notre Dame was up 16-0. Stanford comes back on this touchdown pass and goes up 20-16 in the second half. Rick Meyer, not a good day. Had a chance to take the lead here, and the pass intercepted. Meyer 13 for 38. He, in my opinion, is not a Heisman Trophy candidate. All right, this play was real cute, too, by Notre Dame. Run it out. Now, they're going to fake Stanford out of the shoes, right? Watch this lateral. Yeah, wonderful. Stanford gets it. That was brutal. 33-16, Stanford beats Notre Dame, and it was not a good day for that guy, but he's trying to figure out how he can get the pollsters to move him up in the rankings. Now, Penn State also stayed undefeated. Their opponent tonight, a tough Rutgers team, tough for about the first 2 minutes of the football game. Good fake here by John Saka. John Sacca throws the touchdown pass. Penn State really, after the first, I guess, about 7-8 minutes of the football game, really had it very easy against Rutgers. Another good pass here by John Sacca. And see you later. Penn State wins tonight against Rutgers, 38-24. Checking some other national schools in Division I AA, remained undefeated this season with a win over Boston U. Let's go to Boston and take a look. Villanova has played well this year. Good defense on this play. Delman Robertson intercepts the ball for Villanova, goes in for the touchdown, and Tom Colombo, who did start today at quarterback for Villanova, the pass, 30 yards, a little underthrown but caught, and Villanova goes on to win it 22-14. Other scores locally, Temple gets crushed. Why don't they just go to Division I AA? Penn a winner over Fordham, Delaware over New Hampshire, Westchester over
Ohio
Cheney.
State, Robert Smith on the sidelines with a bad ankle. Brent Moss would have a great day. Third quarter, game tied at 10. Darrell Bevel, a nice shovel pass to Moss, who picks up 15 yards. Same drive, Moss punches it in from the 3-yard line. He had 80 yards on 27 carries, a couple of touchdowns. The Buckeyes trailing by 4. Now time running out. 4th and 5. The Badgers 26. Kirk Herbstreit tries to make it happen, but no. Reggie Holt drags him down, and the Badgers win 20-16. They upset. They beat a ranked team for the first time in 7 years. Their coach Barry Alvarez said, "We won a game and national respect today." Both teams are now 3-1. Chris?
In Atlanta, a fantastic finish between a couple of ranked teams. North Carolina State got a touchdown with Terry Jordan, pass to Robert Hinton. Georgia Tech rallied on a Sean Jones 16-yard scoring pass to Jeff Papashuk. So the game tied at 13 in the closing seconds. Dick Sheridan and the Wolfpack with a chance to win it. Steve Viditich on to try a 51-yard field goal that could win it. He's short. He also missed the kick. One last gasp, 11 seconds remaining. Georgia Tech, Sean Jones on the run, throwing it out there, and somehow Keenan Walker, between 3 or 4 defenders, makes the catch. They get 54 yards, and that sets up Scott Sisson, a 31-yard field goal for the win already with 6 game-winning field goals, and Tech survives at 16-13. Their record now 3-1. Jones passing for 244 yards. Steve Viditich, a day to forget. He missed 4 field goals. Texas A&M and Tech going at it at College Station. Texas Tech up 17-16, but Jeff Granger and the Aggie quarterback avoiding the rush and completing the pass, and it's worth another look. Great upper body strength and balance in those legs to keep the drive alive and complete the pass. Less than a minute to go from the 4. Granger on the run. This should have been picked off. Marcus Coleman had it right there, but the drive continued, and the game-winning field goal as time expires, and Texas A&M avoids the upset. An achy, breaky heart. Falk is averaging more than 7 yards a carry. He's run for 637 yards in 3 games, and he has 7 touchdowns. New Mexico getting a chance to try and slow him down tonight in Albuquerque. Good luck. Here's why he's a Heisman favorite. First step is big, the cutback is nice, and then the breakaway, forget it. 53 yards for a touchdown to give San Diego State a 14-0 lead. Also, the passing game was good, which helped Marshall run the ball. David Lowry to Maxwell for a touchdown. But Falk was the man. 25 carries, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Here he runs across the field to get in from short range. 5th time in the last 14 games he has 200 or more yards. His 10th straight game with 100 yards or more, as San Diego State wins easily 49-21. And you might as well give him the Heisman now. It's pretty much over. 7th-ranked Tennessee in Baton Rouge against LSU, the ESPN special. And Johnny Majors back on the sideline and giving his heart a workout. But watch All-American Todd Kelly. 2nd series of the game, comes in and nails Odell Beckham. Then on the next play, gets around Kevin Mawe and upends Robert Davis. And then on the next play, Kelly into the backfield. 3 plays, just 1 yard. Kelly did it all. 6 tackles, 5 unassisted in the game. And on offense, sophomore Heath Schuler in the 2nd quarter. Rolling and looking. Kendrick Jones, touchdown. Schuler 8 of 18 for 97 yards. And Tennessee wins it their 2nd straight shutout. So they're 5-0. They'll play Arkansas next Saturday in Tennessee. And the Vols have won their last 2 games, as we mentioned, by shutout margins. UCLA trailing Athens in jeopardy of their first loss of the year. Highlights of this coming up on the Sports Center at 2 a.m. Eastern.
All right, I know it's asking a lot to feel sorry for anybody these days in big-time sports, but if you felt sorry for the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest before today's game with Virginia, it's okay. The Deacons were trying to slow down a Virginia team that had scored more than 50 points in each of its last 3 games. Let's head to Winston-Salem and see who got smoked. Wake Forest looking to use 12 men. They could have used a 12th man. They needed at least that many to stop Terry Kirby. First play from scrimmage. Oh, Margaret, see ya. 73 yards, and he is gone. He had 214 yards, scored 3 touchdowns. They did hold Virginia under 50, but they lose by 14. In Morgantown, a Big East matchup, Boston College and West Virginia. Adrian Morrell rumbles and stumbles, 16 yards to put the Nears up 14-3, but BC would come back. Watch Chucky Dukes. Breaks tackles. He scores from 18 yards out. Eagles up by 3. 29 seconds to play, a tie game. David Gordon's, no. His field goal attempt is blocked. The game ends in a 24-24 tie. Another Big East team, Syracuse, taking on Louisville. Louisville quarterback Jeff Brome hits Ralph Dawkins, not from the planet Lovetron, but he does make a great catch. The Cardinals were ahead 9-7. Yes, a beauty. But Syracuse used ball control. Terry Richardson scores, and watch this, right out of the J.C. Penney catalog, you know. The Orange win it 15-9. To the SEC, Georgia at Arkansas. And welcome Danny Ford. Put a kickstart in this offense at Arkansas? No, they got 3 points on the day. Meanwhile, Garrison Hurst got 143 yards, including 16 the hard way on this touchdown. Give it to him. Dogs win easily, 27-3. Elsewhere in the SEC, in Tuscaloosa, Tide quarterback Jay Barker hits Curtis Brown on this play, and watch him weave his way through the Gamecocks' would-be defense for a 25-yard touchdown. Later on, Chris Anderson, he gets outside, and he goes 37 yards as he turns it up for the touchdown. Tide rolling 48-7 this year. This game rolling this year as well, and this year. In Laramie, the kick of the year, San Jose State at Wyoming, time running out. Joe Nedney from 60 yards. It's good. You would have kicked that from 68 yards. The Spartans celebrate 26-24, the win on the last play of the game, and the toga party is on. Now that kick deserves a wow.
If you see 20 patients a week, I'm very concerned. I'm disturbed. Comes armed with a checklist of features, like he's coming in for 50.
Joe Hobart tosses a pair of TD passes, 18 yards to Joe Kralik as the top-ranked Huskies beat USC 17-10. However, Washington was held to 92 yards rushing and were outgained by the Trojans 332 to 271. Tyrone Wheatley got free for an 82-yard romp as number 4 Michigan stopped Iowa 52-28. Wheatley having a not-too-shabby day as he rushed for 224 yards and 3 TDs. Elvis Gerbach was back at the helm as he completes 11 of 17 for 101 yards. Steve Stenstrom found J.J. Lashley for a TD as number 19 Stanford upset number 7 Notre Dame 33-16. Stanford took advantage of 6 turnovers and scored 19 points off 4 miscues. It came down to the final seconds in Atlanta as Sean Jones completes a 54-yard pass to Keenan Walker with 1 tick left on the clock. That sets up Scott Sisson's 29-yard game-winning boot as number 23 Georgia Tech beats number 18 NC State 23-21. Sisson's winning kick was 1 of 3 on the day. It hit from 36 and 37 yards. On the top 25 board, the Seminoles for the second straight year miss a field goal attempt late in the final seconds as Miami escapes Florida State. Texas A&M over Texas Tech. Penn State easy over Rutgers. Tennessee rolls over LSU. Alabama too much for South Carolina. Arizona dumps UCLA. Wisconsin upset Ohio State. Virginia downs Wake Forest. Georgia beats Arkansas. Syracuse a winner over Louisville.